Was that something you had to work on, your confidence and your really just your security being yourself?
Right. I believe so because, as you said, being an Asian American playing a predominantly white or black sport, you don't necessarily fit the eye test. So I had a handful of coaches where I would literally come from playing FIBA Asia, um, yeah, FIBA Asia World Cup or FIBA Asia Asian Cup and stuff like that, and really perform well. And then once I get back to the States, it's like square
Back to
one,
square one. Yeah.
0 or a -1. It's like I always, and even to this day, I constantly have to prove myself to other people that, I deserve to be on the court or I can contribute. So, I'd say that confidence fluctuates. If I'm being like completely honest, that you'll have days where you're really, really high on confidence, other days where you're low. But I feel like once you know that you're controlling the controllables and doing work by yourself, because you don't just get better by making all the team practices and even if you're doing well in the team practices, it's all about the time that nobody sees.
Yep.
So I feel like that gives me the most confidence.
So what's your workout routine like? Do you put up like 200 shots a day? Do you try to weight lift every day? Do you try to work on your handles like 30 minutes a day? I'm kind of just spitballing ideas here, but do you have like a routine you try to follow?
Definitely does vary because obviously in the summer it's more so myself and I really have to plan out the lifting and the what do you call this? The lifting and the
Skills work.
basketball and stuff like that. Versus when I am in season, they have the schedule out for you, and then that's when I really emphasize just shooting afterwards. I usually use a shooting gun because
Mm,
it just spits out the ball back to you. I don't know if I have like I don't think I have a set amount of shots because it does vary every day. Because after basketball practice, sometimes I have school, so maybe I'll just put up like 200 or just work on my free throws. It's more of like a mental thing for me. Like if maybe I didn't have the best practice, okay, I'm just gonna shoot free throws just to be
mm,
like you're okay. Like one practice doesn't define you. To
right,
kind of just
right.
like, mentally reset. But yeah, my schedule definitely does fluctuate, but there's usually always weightlifting like every other day. Basketball is probably 1 to 2 hours, maybe a little over 2 hours, but not so much 3 hours, especially if we're going hard.
I've got a little bit of a dumb question. I'm just so curious. Those shooting guns, right? Has there ever
Uh-huh.
been a time you lose attention for like 5 seconds and the ball when it comes out kind of hits you and takes you by surprise?
No. No, I mean, there have been a couple times where somebody's watching you and let's say like they see the ball go away and then they walk past where it spits the ball out and they don't know what the timing is and they accidentally get hit. I think
Oh,
that's bet. But I don't think the shooter necessarily gets shocked because you know the time.
right,
Like if
right
it's
there.
5 seconds, it takes you less than a second to shoot, and then you're like, okay, I have 4 seconds to rest, and then get the
Right.
ball back.
See, when my friends ask my Christmas wish list this year, I'm gonna have to add that, although it might not be so affordable for just leisure
Oh
activities.
my.
No, so you mentioned going to class, which of course is very important when you're a student athlete, right? What and right now at INO, are you majoring in a specific degree, something you're pursuing off the court that you're trying to get started with now, or are you just like full focus on basketball?
Well, I was a health science major, and then I switched to psychology here because I do want to be an OT, and that's they said it's like a basically a straight path to having a master to going into master school for OT. And I think that's something that I want to pursue in the near future.
Yeah, it's a fellow psych major who took up psychology years ago and then ended
Awesome.
up in media. You can use psychology in so many ways. It's
So cool. It's so great
yeah,
to hear.
exactly. Although all the readings in the paperwork sometimes can get a little bit taxing. Well, back in the day, for me at least, you might have fun with it. I'm sure you do too. Now, when you're going to school, right, and you've got so much responsibilities on your plate at such an early point of your career, to be honest, right? You're representing the national team, you're trying to earn a rotation spot with your college team as well. And at the same time, you're trying to get your grades up, you're trying to spend time with family, you're trying to keep up with friends in social media, you're trying I don't know, maybe once in a while you'll want to go on a date with someone, or maybe once in a while you'll want to meet new friends, or once in a while you just want to play video games, something simple. And it feels like time is so scarce, but there's so much to do. How do you deal with all of that?
Honestly, I feel like my faith has really helped me throughout life in general. I've been really trying, and I know that I have to really put God first above all else because I can't do it by myself. I really can't. And I just know that in those moments that I'm really able to, put Jesus first and, whether it's being in the Word or just being on fire for Him, I just know that He takes care of everything for me because when I look at all the papers and I look at all the due dates and stress myself over basketball and stuff, it's just not gonna get any better. But I feel like when I'm like, I remind myself that Jesus has it all in His hands and that I can do it. Maybe not everything at the same time, right? Like I don't think that's possible, but I feel like He helps me kind of just de-stress and kind of look at life at a different perspective. Like I used to be very obsessive over basketball. Like I love basketball still, of course, but your life is not necessarily determined by one thing. You know
Yep.
what I mean? Or one game or one practice or one pass because before it really used to be like one bad pass is like, oh shoot, I suck,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
But I feel like developing my relationship with Jesus has helped me be like, it's okay. Like everybody makes mistakes and
Life
you
goes
know,
on.
right. And the way that I get on myself is crazy sometimes. Like whenever somebody else makes a mistake, I'm like, "Well, you got it. Like get the next shot or whatever." But when it's myself, it's like terrible. But yeah, Jesus has been helping me a lot on everything.
Attention sports enthusiasts and loyal Ateneo fans. The peak of excitement may have settled after the UAAP season, but your support for Team Ateneo should never waver. Show your unwavering spirit by proudly donning your favorite Get Blued merchandise. We have amazing news for you. You can now find the most extensive selection of authentic Ateneo gear at both Shopee Mall and Laz Mall. Gear up and embrace the blue and white pride with Get Blued's top-notch apparel. And remember, always buy original.